First warning, MMA Report is joined live with Roufusport athlete JP Too Much St. Louis. JP will be competing at LFA 82 this Friday night at Mystic Lake Casino in Prior Lake, Minnesota. JP, thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. As usual, we want to thank our sponsors before we get started. Heidlich Masonry, Jackson Yard Care, Andy Max Sports Fishing Guidance Service, and Kiss My Fist Medco, the absolute hardest hitting edibles on the planet. JP, this is going to be your third consecutive, LFA appearance in a row and fourth overall. Do you kind of feel like that's now becoming your home promotion, and do you like fighting under the bright lights of LFA?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the top, I think it's the biggest regional show, or at least one of the biggest regional shows. And with this going to be my fourth fight with them, I've gotten a lot more comfortable fighting under their organization. I prefer to fight under the LFA, more exposure. I honestly kind of like the brighter lights. I like when more people are watching it. I guess I would say it's like it makes me rise to the occasion a little bit more, and it's just fun. Like the production is fun. I'm comfortable with the guys there. I had my first LFA fight in 2017.
Sure.
Gotten to know like Mike Bieri, Ed Soares, and all of them. So I just like being around there.
Right. You're starting to get a lot of national attention. Obviously, been this is gonna be your third consecutive, like I said before, LFA fight. Do you think with a dominating performance that you might get a call from a Bellator or a Contender Series?
I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. That would be the next step. But I try to always concern myself with the task at hand and not think about what's going to happen afterwards. I think a lot of people get caught up and, I don't know, maybe mess their minds up or start losing sight of what's actually important. What's important is that fight. You don't win that fight, none of the things that you were thinking about are going to happen. So my whole thing is I get my hand raised that night, and the only thing that I know that I'm going to do afterwards is eat like a double bacon cheeseburger with onion rings and all that stuff. And, if I do get a call from like the Contenders or another big promotion, that would be great. But if I don't, it's still the same stuff that I've always focused on. Getting in the gym, getting better, helping my teammates out, becoming a better fighter, more well-rounded, and just developing all my skills.
Right.
And you worry about, I feel like if you worry about the things that are important, like getting your skills up, getting, I guess you would say like better, mentally stronger, and all those things, everything else will fall into place. So.
Yeah, no, you just kind of hit my next question on the head right there. You're talking about improving your skill set. Coming from Roufusport, obviously under the tutelage of Duke Roufus, everyone just thinks striking right away. But obviously now with Professor Wanderlei there, in particular, your game has really jumped to that next level. And you had knockouts earlier on in your career, and now you're really starting to work your jiu-jitsu game. What do you credit that to?
Shout out to Daniel Wanderlei. I'm in a lot of gi classes. I think as of right now, since I've received my purple belt, I have like 350 something classes in just gi alone, and that doesn't include like no gi classes. Or that doesn't include our pro practice jiu-jitsu classes or anything of that nature. So I've gotten a lot of time rolling. I would almost say I average about 5 rolls each class, each gi class, which is usually the 25 minutes that we are allotted. So rarely do I ever actually sit out and take a break. So each class, pro practice, whatever it is, I'm getting my 5 rounds in for jiu-jitsu. Working, I'm trying to get, good guys, but also, some of the lower belts also help you develop your game. You're not always going to get better with you'll get better with better guys, but it's good to go with lower rank sometimes to work those moves. It's going to be a little bit easier. You start to build your confidence up. And those are just things that I really started taking a lot more serious about maybe 3 years ago, like 2016-ish. I really started hitting jiu-jitsu hard. Because after my fight with Tim Hiley, there was a few positions that I had where, had I known a little bit more about jiu-jitsu, I could have possibly changed the outcome of the fight. But I didn't, and I ended up losing, as we know. So a little bit after that, I started taking jiu-jitsu a lot more serious. You know, I'm rolling with Gerald Mearshart and Mike Biggie Rhodes every single day.
Yeah.
It's like they've been beating me up every single day for a long
Thick
time.
guys.
Yeah, and then got Bilal Muhammad, got Craig Eckelberg, um, Cam Olson, uh, just a list of guys that I was rolling with a lot on a regular basis
Right.
that helped me get there. And we have newer guys now that I'm rolling with as well. Just always working on getting better.
Sure. I actually was in at Roufusport for the first time a couple weeks back. I saw you
Yeah.
guys down there in the gym training. I got my Roufusport shirt on, so I dressed the part today for the interview.
That's what's up.
What's it like going there every day, man, and being able to walk down those stairs and just having the guys that are at that gym to work with? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
I would definitely say that. I mean, because I've been there for 4 years, 4.5 years, that I kind of don't think about it as much. It's kind of just business as usual. Go in, make sure you flip the switch, get ready to train,
Sure.
get better. But when I sit back and like think about it, it's I would say the first thing is like extremely motivating. Just being around the level of fighters, all those fighters that are super dedicated to, perfecting their craft, some of the best fighters in the world. Roufusport, we're a smaller gym, but we have a lot of quality guys. There's
Yeah.
no like easy rounds, it's top tier talent,
Yeah.
regular basis, and then you get a lot of people who want to visit. So it's a great thing. It's like I'm very grateful that I have
Sure.
the teammates that I have, and the coaches. It's just top level training at all times.
Sure.
So it's like normally I'm not thinking about it, but when I
Right.
go and sit back, and think, it's like, man, it's like I'm really out here training with these guys on a regular basis. It's like seeing them succeed makes me want to put in more effort and grind harder. Like there's Saturday nights or early Saturday morning fights where I see a teammate get a dub, I get all excited. It's like, all right, I'm about to go kill it in the gym today. Or, even some of the, it's unfortunate. You're not always going to win. Teammates aren't always going to win. But
Right.
even with those, it's like, the effort that they put in, and sometimes they still come up short. And it's like, I got to put in more, or like, just like more
Right.
mental training. And I feel like I can get motivation from everything being at that gym. And then, I got great teammates that are always helping me out.
Right.
Mentioned them before, Mike, Biggie Rhodes. It's always weird saying Mike first, but Biggie and then Gerald. It's like they're constantly I would say almost like not like criticizing in a bad way, but it's always
Right.
constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Biggie roasts me a little bit too, but it's all love. It's like we're like brothers, so it's just trying
Yeah.
to make sure that I'm doing the right stuff. Because
Biggie's. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if people aren't trying to help you out, that means they don't care. So
Yeah. No, Biggie's a great guy. I met him years ago when he was making his UFC debut in Chicago, and he's always been one of my favorites, and just a real good guy to talk to in general. One thing that stood out to me when I went down to Roufusport was, you had, Sergio was there, and he had just fought, a week and a half, 2 weeks before. Felder's preparing for Hooker. You had Rafian Stas down there. Seems like even when guys, come off a fight, they're still in the gym helping the next guys get ready for their fight. I think that's really special.
Oh yeah, the team chemistry there is great. We actually care about each other. It is a smaller gym, so it's not like we can just everyone can
Sure.
take like hella time off and kind of
Yep.
just like, F around and stuff. So we do actually like to get back in there. There's majority of my fights. I fight on a Friday, Saturday night. You'll
Right.
see me back in there training on Monday. As
Yeah.
long as nothing bad happened, I didn't get hurt. I'm back in the gym immediately, and I have a bad habit of doing that because I always tell myself, after this fight, I'm gonna relax and all that stuff. I mean, usually
Right.
I'm in the gym, like I'm in the gym at the hotel the day after the fight, just getting like a light workout in,
Sure. Well, that's
like
just
30,
that just
35
shows
minutes.
that just shows you're dedicated to your craft. You're a true professional. You hit on some of the guys earlier. Gerald and Biggie Rhodes. Who's been instrumental in this camp that's been getting you ready for Friday night?
For this one, Biggie's been dealing with like slight injuries, so he's been coming in here and there. But I've been working with Gerald a lot for this one. Trying to think who else. I've been getting rounds in with Paul, a lot of rounds in with Paul Felder, and then Brendan Allen, a little bit of Bilal. But the whole thing is like, even though like like Biggie's not in right now as much, or he's like just coming off of like an injury and starting to build up to get that, get it healthy and then get the training in. He's still helping regardless, just talking to me, or he shows up at practice all the damn time, regardless of if he's training or not. So it's like just him being there, like giving little suggestions here and there. So it's like, yeah, you're not physically there as much on the mat, like beating me up or whatever, but it's like, it's still that help. So
yeah, your last performance was impressive. A first round stoppage over Scott Ritz at LFA 77. Do you feel like your style and aggressiveness brings those early stoppages, or do you feel like you just see openings early and you're able to capitalize on them?
I think it's a mixture of both. Like I tell people, it's like I don't really consider myself like a super fast starter. It's like I'm not.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like like when Vitor Belfort the infamous knockout that he had where he just went and blasted the dude.
That was against Vanderlei.
Okay, it was. I didn't want to say it because I wasn't sure, but I was positive it was him. And it's like I don't really start like that, but I would say it's like I am an aggressive kind of in your face fighter.
Sure.
And it's like I do throw heat, but like all my training partners, it's like we got a joke where it's called like cowabunga, like cowabunga it is, that type of mentality.
Sure.
And I can get caught up in that pretty quickly sometimes. And it's like it's always been a constant reminder from like my coaches, Scott Cushman,
Sure.
and then Biggie and all of them. It's like you don't have to go crazy. It's like you can be calm, and when you're calm, you can see openings. And I think that's what is. I mean, before it's like I had some early stoppages, I was just fighting, but now it's like I have that mindset. It's like I fight. My dad would always say, it's like, yo, when you're fighting someone, you go and try to end it quick, like like a street fight mentality. You don't know what the hell is going to happen. You drop him, you end it, or you drop whoever you have to, and you get out of there quick. So I have that mindset. It's like a fight it's not a fight to the death, but I'm taking it as one. It's like I got to kill this person before they kill me.
Right.
So the moment they make a mistake or I see an opening, I'm taking it, and I think that's how everything has kind of transpired the way it is. And with the training that I have, it's like I have a lot of guys that are showing me different looks, different opportunities. So I think it's just a mixture of the training, my mentality, and then just being kind of like pragmatic, I would say. If I have a chance to finish them, I take it.
I think that's excellent advice that you received there. It's one of those things that you see sometimes guys, play around in there and then it costs them later on in the fight. So your style is definitely one. You said you're a slow starter, but a lot of your performances have been pretty quick. Let's talk about the fight on at LFA 82 Friday night. You're taking on Corey Cup. Have you done a lot of film study on him, or is that something you don't like to do? Do you let the coaches do that?
Is that how you say his last name? Cup? I've been saying Koopy.
Koopy Cup. I don't know. I apologize. I'm not sure.
Yeah. In terms of like film studying, I'll watch a few of the fights just to see what kind of habits they have, And people, you have to expect that they're going to be better than what you just saw. They're training, so I'm not going and looking. It's like he's going to do exactly this, but it's like I want to get the habits. It's like, does this person leave the exchange with their chin up all the time?
Right.
Like before they do something, are they like dipping their head, or how do they throw their jab? Are they throwing their jab and it's crisp and coming right back, or are they throwing that jab and kind of letting it, like I call it like the choo-choo train, just like throwing like almost like a half circle. So those are the things that I kind of look for. I don't go crazy with the watching of it because then you kind of, at least for me, I kind of feel like I'll start thinking it's like, all right, they're going to do this. And
Right.
that's not how it works. They can do something completely different that you didn't even expect. So I'm just looking for the habits. Every few days, really, I'll go and like rewatch a fight,
Sure.
see little things that they do, see like moves that they prefer, their grappling style, striking style, and that's how I tried. I try to approach it with have like a idea, a picture of what they like to do, but then when it's all in there, it's like I kind of just it's like an audible pretty much.
Right. Oh, so what do you think you need to do to make sure that you get your hand raised on Friday?
One thing, got to make sure that I'm pressuring him, I'm staying in his face because if you let him, he will come forward and start going crazy, and that's what I've noticed. And also got to make sure that my defense is good. He's a tall guy, so I can't be out there playing around, which is also why I have to stay in his face. He's a lot taller than me. If I'm
Right.
staying at the end of his reach, I'm gonna get hit a lot, and that doesn't that doesn't end with anything well.
You're
So
right.
so really those are the things. It's like pressure and making sure that I'm keeping strong in my defense, and just the same thing, trying to finish somebody.
Sure. Who are you gonna have in the corner on Friday?
I will have Gerald Mearshart and Emmanuel Sanchez.
Oh, great. That's a fantastic corner. So do you have any official predictions for Friday night and how you think it'll end?
My predictions are always like I always think that it's going to be like a second, third round finish. That's always how I look at it. I always end up getting the first round, but he's a tough guy and he's got some skills. I watch his fights and definitely respect him. I respect all my opponents, but like seeing what he has, he's got some grappling, he's got
Right.
striking. So I don't think it's going to be like a walk in the park at all, but
Yeah.
expecting a second round finish.
Okay. Well, JP, I want to appreciate you, for taking time out of fight week and joining us on the show. LFA 82 is going to be instant fireworks. Best of skill to you. We look forward to you watching do your thing. I want to give you the opportunity to, thank your sponsors. Let the fans know where they can watch it live or, where they can get tickets or watch it on TV. And then, so the floor is yours.
All right, so you guys can watch the fight on UFC Fight Pass. If you don't have UFC Fight Pass, you can go and get the free trial for 7 days. I would like you to keep it just so I'm not on video telling people to cancel right after. But definitely, you want to check it out. I'm gonna have. Unfortunately, they won't. I don't think they will be on the main card. Christian Rodriguez will be fighting that night, and then we have amateurs, Princeton Cameron, and Amar Hernandez, up and coming fighters, amateur fighters. So maybe they can catch a Facebook Live
Sure.
that someone will be streaming. And in terms of my sponsors, I got Ketogenic Baking Company. I had to pull out my fight shorts. That Ketogenic Baking Company, Team Rehab, Physical Therapy in Wauwatosa, right off Mayfair for any of the Wisconsin, Milwaukee locals. Diamond MMA, and then we got Brookfield Chiropractic, Uncle Jay's Lumpia, and then Combat Corner. And just to show everybody the short that has all my sponsors on it, I got Brookfield, got Uncle Jay's Lumpia, and then on the back, I'd like to give a shout out to my anime podcast, Spicy Ramen Podcast, right here.
Okay.
So if there's any anime fans that are out there, any nerds, I know a lot of people are like, man, you're such a dork, but it is what it is. Check us out. We're on Spotify, YouTube, and Podbean, and soon to be Apple as well.
That's outstanding. Well, like I said, we really appreciate the time, and we look forward to you putting the work in on Friday night.
I appreciate you having me, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Yeah, it's like I always show up. That's the one thing. It's like I always show up, and I try to show out and make it exciting.
That's for sure. Well, I'll see you there live.
Oh, you're going to be there? Dope.
I won't miss that one at all.
All right, that's cool.
All right, bud. Take care.
All right, you too.